Hello, everyone. My name is Johnny Kamer with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I am joined by Kansas State center Hayden Gillum. Hayden, if you'd like to introduce yourself to the people, please do.
How's it going, everyone? First of all, I appreciate you having me on. Looking forward to talking with you today. Let's get to it.
So, coming out of high school, you had some offers, but you settled on being a walk-on at Kansas State. Could you talk about the life of being a walk-on and if that gave you a chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately coming out of high school, I was like 240 pounds. I was playing defense. I had some D2 offers and one Division One FCS offer. And ultimately, I just decided to battle myself. I knew I could play at the Power Five level, and that's really what led me to the decision to go ahead and walk on. It was kind of a roundabout journey, starting on defense, moving around a little bit before going to offense. But it definitely gives you a different perspective than everyone else. You have to earn everything, and it's not easy. Moving positions and not knowing if you're going to be into camp or whatever. But I'm thankful for it. I wouldn't change it. It's definitely shaped me into where I'm at now in my career.
What position were you before a center?
So I came in as a defensive tackle. I was, out of high school, I was about 240 pounds. So I came in as a defensive tackle in high school. I played primarily linebacker, a little fullback, kind of everywhere. I came from a small school. And then we had a guy get hurt and another guy transfer at Kansas State. So I had the opportunity to get into fall camp. So I moved over to offensive line, basically just to be a body. And, I didn't know if I'd end up going back to defense. We ended up getting another coaching staff. And my offensive line coach, who I finished with, ultimately wanted me at center. He liked athletic guys, and that's what I could do. I could move well. Obviously, I was undersized at the time, but I knew once I got the weight on, I'd be able to play offensive line.
Absolutely. And in 2022, you earned a starting job. What was it like after all of that hard work to earn the starting job?
Yeah, I mean it's cool to see the hard work pay off from walking on to basically gaining 70 pounds since high school. I had a great center ahead of me. I've learned from a lot of guys, but I think in today's day and age, you don't see guys be patient and wait for their turn. And I knew that when I got there, I was going to be more than capable and able to do it at a high level. So when I finally got that opportunity, I was ready to go. We had a big year that year. We won the Big 12, all conference. And that was really just my first year at it. But a lot of that just goes to being patient and trusting the process.
What would you say to a player that's thinking of transferring but is on the fence about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for every person, it's different for everyone. But um, I think if you truly are doing what you're supposed to do, working as hard as you need to do, learning the system inside and out, if you stay patient, your opportunity will come. I'm a prime example of that. I did my time, and I've been able to be one of the more successful offensive linemen at Kansas State, in all of my time there. And a lot of that, if I would have left, as a sophomore or in a third year, I would have never got to experience that. But by staying, it paid off, and you get to reap the reward for that.
Absolutely. So you earned team captain's honor after the 2022 season. What was it? What did it mean to you to earn those honors, and like what responsibilities did you take on becoming a team captain?
Yeah, being a leader is something I've always held dear to myself. Even as a freshman walk on, you might not be in front of the team leading everybody, but who can you lead in your class? Being a leader in your group, there's a lot that goes on in leadership behind closed doors. So I pride myself on that. And our captains at Kansas State, it's a really big deal. It's an honor. The whole team votes for you, coaches. So to be able to have that title and kind of be on the forefront and you know, just really help lead the guys, be the model, be there where I need to be. There's a lot of different aspects to leadership. So how can I fill as many roles as possible and, give back where I can? Because I've had some great leaders ahead of me.
If you don't mind, who are some of those leaders that you like look up to or try to model your leadership styles after?
Yeah, growing up, BJ Finney was a walk-on out of Andale. He was a center. He went on, played about 7 or 8 years. The majority of that was with the Steelers. I had Dalton Reisner as a freshman. He went on to the Broncos. Cody Whitehair, he just finished up his time at the Bears. Those are all some big time Kansas State offensive linemen that, we've been fortunate enough to have back around our facility to learn from. K-State puts out consistent offensive linemen. That's what we're known for. So to be able to learn from those guys and be a sponge and pick up from things that they did in their time, it's huge.
You had a solid 2022 season, but killed it in 2023, taking that team captain's honor. 940 snaps, no penalties, zero sacks given up, zero QB hurries allowed. Sorry, QB hits. Was there something about the previous offseason that you did differently, or did the game just slow down for you?
Yeah. I'll kind of go back. So the 2022 season was my first year really on the scene. So proving myself. We got to the end. We won the Big 12. We played Bama in the Sugar Bowl. And I felt like, man, okay, like that, that was it was a good year. I kind of got my feet under me. Um, but I didn't feel like I'm just now like at the tip of the iceberg. And that was kind of at the end of that season, I had people start reaching out about potential NFL stuff, the Big 12 accolades, our offensive line accolades, the Big 12 championships, all those things. And everyone was like, wow, what an amazing season. We finished with a top offense. And for me personally, I felt like I hadn't done anything yet. I'm like, I'm just getting started here. That's what led me to come back for my last year, and I think the biggest thing is just confidence. Continuing to grow. Yes, I'm a veteran player as far as how long I've been around the program, being a backup, but coming from defensive line to tight end back to offensive line, offensive line is definitely a learned position. So I think that's something with me. Whenever a team gets me, you're getting somebody who's not there yet. I haven't peaked. You might have a 3, 4 year starter. That guy's probably going to be what you get. And for me right now, I feel like I'm just climbing on that. So at the end of that 2022 season, I was just like, I have so much more left. I wanted to come back and prove that. And then just continuing to understand the game. I got a lot stronger in the 2023 season. I played up around 300 pounds. And then just my base knowledge of the game. That's something that I pride myself on, is knowing my assignment, knowing what everyone's supposed to do. I think it gives me the biggest advantage. So things really slowed down. Allowed me to use my technique, and I still feel like I have so much more though left to
Yeah.
do.
So you talked about playing center, and I think it's one of the hardest jobs in football. You have to make a snap that's almost perfect and then block a 300-pound man. Could you talk about like what you look for in film to get better and how you make yourself better?
Yeah. Um, if you've watched my game, I think consistency is what comes across. I get my body in the right position. I win a very high percentage of my reps. And a lot of that just comes down to, I think, my knowledge and understanding leverage. A lot of times when I'm scouting an individual player, I'll go through the whole D line and I'm looking at, okay, what's a move this guy likes? What's he going to do on third down? Not even that. Where's he going to be in the third, fourth quarter on a 10, 12 play series? Um, and I start to learn those things on individuals. And I think that gives me a big advantage because then I know where to put my hands before he even puts them. And then as far as a defense, I think every defense has tendencies. So where can you find those? Because everyone's disguising cover two, cover three, cover four, whatever it is. But you're getting a different picture each time. So being able to pick up on those keys, big thing for me is helping our quarterback with pressures and blitzes, having the offensive line in the right spot. We got a lot of pressure this year. Teams really wanted to blitz us and kind of help slow down our offensive line. But if you can see those things ahead of time, it's huge. It allows you to get in position and make the plays you need to make.
So one thing I see online is people grabbing clips of offensive linemen and posting them and blaming linemen for a sack or whatever it may be. What's something you wish people understood about being a lineman?
Um, I think there's a lot that people don't understand about the whole game when you watch it. And even as another football player, I can be watching a game and you might see a quarterback throw an interception, the receiver ran the wrong route. Same thing, you might have a blitz and you might be hot off of, say, the Mike linebacker. So the line's not responsible for him, but he's coming through. And I think those are things from an outside perspective that you don't understand unless you really know the game of football and what teams are trying to do schematically.
One thing I also find fascinating about linemen is the diet because you guys burn a ton of calories practicing, but also have to maintain a good amount of weight to push these defensive linemen. What do you do diet wise and nutrition?
Yeah, so it's changed for me throughout my career. As I said, I've basically put on 70 pounds since high school. So early in my career was how can I get weight on? I wanted as many calories as possible, get the weight on. But later in my career, kind of that 22 to 23 season was transitioning that weight. How good and how lean can I get 300, 305 pounds? Right now I'm in my pre-draft training, and that's a huge focus for me. Is how much muscle can I get that to? How lean can I be? One of my biggest things is my athleticism, ability to move, get out and bend and run. Um, so just continuing to add to that and be as solid as possible, but also still 300, 305 pounds and being able to hold your weight and have the same strength as well.
You talked about this a little bit, your preparation for the NFL draft. Could you talk about what you're doing right now to train for the draft?
Yeah. So ever since January, I had a little injury on my hand. I had to get fixed up, so I didn't play any All-Star games. I decided it'd be best just to get healthy. I'm down at X3 in Nashville, working out here. I'll be here till mid-March, and a lot of it's just, working on all the combine drills, speed, strength, really just getting in the best physical condition I can as well. And then with that, I'm doing a ton of offensive line work, studying different schemes, studying previous stuff from my college career. Where can I improve? But also looking at some NFL stuff, that way, whenever I can go into a team at the end of April, I'm ready to go, kind of that plug and play player. I think it gives me an advantage. The more I can study, the more I can learn now. But back to the physical side of things, we have our Big 12 Pro Day. It's the first one of that, the All Conference Pro Day, and it's going to be in Dallas on March 27th through the 30th. So, really just preparing for that. We'll be able to interview with teams, test, and just get that face-to-face interaction with all the scouts and GMs and stuff. So that's my main goal right now.
You kind of mentioned like you're a big film watcher and you're trying to learn other things. Are there any linemen you try and model your game after?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sponge. I take a little bit from everybody because I think there's a lot of great players, in the league and a lot of guys that have been ahead of me. One of the obvious ones is Jason Kelsey. I mean, I love the ability to pull, get out and pull. You watch my film. That's what I do a lot of times. I think he's consistent in pass pro. Yeah, I think on my last 900 snaps, I've given up one sack. So the consistency that he plays at, and everyone knows him now from the last year or two, but I've been watching him for a long time. I think Linderbaum's a great player. He plays with good leverage. David Andrews, a guy that doesn't get mentioned enough, Patriots center. He's a veteran guy and, similar size to me. He climbs to the second level well, gets his body in position, smart player. You go down the line, but I'm not one that just focuses on one player. I kind of want to learn from everybody and say, hey, what tool can I add? And go on from there.
You talked about how you're a sponge. Is I wanted to ask why should an NFL team draft you?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is you put my film against anybody else. Go watch my last 5, 6 games. There's my resume, what I've done, the level I've done it. It's up there with everyone. There's nothing. Like I said, I've given up one sack in my entire college career. Um, no penalties. My understanding of the game, my ability to break down film, I think that translates well. At Kansas State, I was telling my left guard, right tackle, everyone what to do. I have a really good understanding of defenses. So I think that's one of my biggest things when I come in somewhere, I'm going to be able to learn it quick. I can retain information. I can teach it. I can take it to the field, and then just I go get the job done. That's just something for me is I'm going to find a way to win. You don't always get the perfect picture that you plan for, but you don't always get to be in the, if you have a blitzer come and get to be in perfect pass pro. But can you find a way to win, get your body in position? And I think that's something that I do really well.
So, getting away from football a bit, could you talk about yourself as like a person off the field?
Yeah. Um, I really just love being around people. I love spending time with people and quality relationships. I'm a big family guy. I got a wife. Love spending time with her. My faith's a big part of my life. I've been impacted by so many amazing people up until this point in my career. So, um, something I'm excited for the NFL is just to be able to continue to give back and help people out. And in college, I was blessed to be able to do that. We were able to help out, do an offensive line thing with some of the food banks in town, and getting involved with local ministries and other things like that. But just to be able to continue to use my platform to help people because I've had a ton of amazing people that have poured into me just as a kid, and to be able to come from a small town walk on to where I'm at now, it's been with a lot of help, and that doesn't go unnoticed. So, really just those valuable relationships with people and being able to get back where I can is really important to me.
That's really cool, and that's some awesome stuff. Now some fun questions. If a teammate hands you the aux cord to pump up the locker room, what song are you picking?
Man, kind of depends. I think, uh, at K-State, our kickoff song was Joker and the Thief. So we'd always play that like in our tunnel going into the weight room and get everyone kind of going and pumped up. And everyone is the walls were metal going in, everyone would be banging them. But there's a lot, but that'd probably be my first choice. Just kind of something back that we used to always do in college.
Do you have any pregame rituals?
I'm very routine. I would say like my Friday, I would get up every morning early. I'd go out on the field and I would go through a lot of our opening plays just by myself on air. I really just sound silly, but I'd imagine I'd see the like pretend making plays. I would be running through plays by myself, but I think visualization and being able to do those things just really started to help me see. I'd pretend what uniforms they're in, see the different pictures and just see those things conceptually on the field. Um, I watch on my Friday night, I continue to watch a little more cut ups. What more can I find on these guys going into the game? What are they going to do? What are their tendencies? And then on Saturdays, whether it's a morning game, night game, it varies a little bit, but um, my warm up's very much the same. I go through the same footsteps, the same pattern. I think just that routine and all that helps breed consistency and helps me do what I do.
Awesome, awesome. And what would be, you said you're trying to eat cleaner now that you don't have to bulk up as much. What would be your go-to like cheat meal or cheat snack?
Uh, Lately I've just been wanting some good pizza, I think. I'm a foodie though. Like even I love steak, so something I can eat right now that's good for you. Eat a good steak and some good sides with it, but a real cheat meal, probably some pizza.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that's pretty much all of the questions I have. If there's anything else left you have to say, please do so. It was awesome having you on here.
Yeah, thank you to you guys and your crew. I appreciate you reaching out and setting this up with me. Enjoyed talking to you, and thanks again.
No problem, man. Well, good luck to you in your journey. I'm excited to see where you end up, and best of luck.
Yep, thank you. See ya.